Hey, what's going on guys? It's Shivam and today we're checking out the brand new Samsung flagship, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G. Wow, what a mouthful. Nonetheless, the phone is great and I dare say it's the best in its class. Except for the fact that it's the only one in its class. Because at $1,300 USD or about 1,800 Canadian, this device creates a category for itself. With that being said, I think this is the closest a smartphone has ever gotten to becoming perfect. Getting started with the unboxing, you can just tell that it's a super premium device. You have Samsung Galaxy Note 20 5G written on the front with N20 being shown at some lighting angles. If we open up the box, you can see right on top that we have the phone. And as you can see, I got it in the Aura black color, which, unlike the gold one, is not matte. So if you're getting this, just make sure you know that it is reflective and it will show fingerprints. But initially, the thing that just pops out at you is this massive camera. We'll talk about this more later though. Putting the phone to the side, we've got some paperwork that no one checks anyway. Then we got our charger, and you'll notice that there's no earbuds this time, similar to the Note 20, so it seems that they're skimping out on that a little bit. But back to the phone. Now this phone is massive. It's got a 6.9-inch 1440p 120Hz panel that we'll talk a little bit more about later in the video. We'll power on the device and we'll get started with the review. So why the high praise? Cause saying a phone is close to perfect is absurd, especially with all the forward-looking tech we have. I mean, we got foldables, 3D displays, AR, VR, and so much more. What I mean is that for the tech available right now, this is peak smartphone. You look at any aspect of this phone, and it's A+. The display, build quality, features, and software might not be depending on who you are, but overall it's definitely an A+ smartphone. Okay, before anyone tries to say I'm a Samsung fanboy or something like that, there are definitely shortcomings with this device, but I want to go over all the things I like first. Starting with the display, we have this beautiful 6.9-inch AMOLED panel supporting 120Hz or 1440p. Now I say or because you can either have 60Hz at 1440 or 120Hz at 1080. But I'd highly recommend changing it to 120Hz because it's way more noticeable than 1080p to 1440p. Honestly, I can't even tell the difference just because of how minuscule 1080p versus 1440p is. However, 120Hz versus 60Hz is a massive difference and definitely changes the experience of using your phone. So we already know that the quality is amazing and it's the best that you can find, but the screen is also huge and it really adds to it. You get 6.9 inches of real estate, which is perfect once you realize that you have the S Pen to multitask and get your work done. Okay, real quick, I want to address the curved edges too, because I don't notice them at all. I've heard people complain about accidental screen touches and whatnot, but I personally don't see a difference. The hole punch is also shrunk slightly, giving you a more immersive experience. So I can easily rate this the best display ever in a smartphone. But at this price, it better be. I want to quickly gloss over battery too. So the battery life is actually really good. Although it's only a 4500 mAh battery, which I know I say only, but that's basically the standard nowadays. Even mid-range phones have a 4000 plus capacity. Anyways, Samsung has optimized the chip and software quite well. So even when I was using it with max brightness and 120Hz, it got me through the whole day very easily. If you are a normal person who uses their phone at 25% brightness or even less, because the display is super bright, I'm sure you can squeeze out a second day. For me, with 100% brightness, I got about 6.5 hours of screen on time, so pretty good for a power user like myself. Next up is the camera, and this is probably one of the biggest selling points of this device. I mean, just look at it. It has to be great, right? Well, it is. You've got a depth sensor, ultra-wide, wide angle, and 5 times telephoto zoom, which goes up to 50 times. Just by looking at these photos, you can tell how it performs. You get super crisp and detailed images, but similar to the Note 20, the colors aren't always true to life. You'll get very vibrant shots with saturation and contrasts on max. But if you like that look, it'll make the pictures pop a lot more. The ultra-wide is what you'd expect from a flagship like this. It warps the images a little bit, and the images are just about as wide as other phones' ultra-wide sensors. The really cool thing is that the zoom is crazy. You get up to 50 times zoom, which is just insane to think about. You wouldn't really ever need to take a picture at this distance, but if you want to say read something afar, just zoom in and see what it says. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time, so let's talk about why anyone would even buy this phone. The S Pen. I'm just going to run through all the cool features that it has so you know what you can do with the S Pen. So you can kind of consider this an S Pen tutorial as well. First up, we got the basic one, which is to create a note. Just open the Air command and click Create Note. Next is the option to view all your notes. Pretty self-explanatory. Next is Smart Select, which allows you to select a certain part of the screen and screenshot it, so you can make it a square, rectangle, circle, etc. Next is Screen Write, which allows you to take a screenshot and write on the screen right after. So if you want to highlight or circle something to show someone, you can use this. Live Message allows you to annotate something on the screen, and it sends it as an animation. AR Doodle will let you record something and attach a drawing to it in real time. Translate lets you hover your S Pen over some text and translate it into any language you want. PenUp is just a drawing and coloring app. Glance lets you open up any amp and turn it into a little pop-up window at the bottom. And last but not least, we got Magnify, which lets you magnify your screen with your S Pen. So, what are my final thoughts? Well, if you really need the S Pen, and I mean you really require it for your day-to-day work, go for it. You'll have no problem with this phone, and you'll enjoy every second of it. It's got a great display, great battery, and amazing extra features, plus that insane camera. But for the average person, it's just too expensive at that $1,300 USD or $1,800 Canadian price. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. That would mean a lot. I'll see you in the next one.